Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'll be honest with you, last time I tried this didn't work so well. So this is a test to see. The last video got all chopped up, even though it's exactly what I wanted it to be. So today, we're going to try take two, 5,500 mile review of the ZX4RR 2023, brand new model. I'm sure everybody's been familiar with it, so I'm not going to go over details like power, weight, anything. Nothing at all. First things first, let's talk about the brand new one before we get into anything. 2024 ZX4 and ZX4RR. The US, where I'm based out of, gets two models now. A regular 4R and another 4RR. The 4R seems to come in a black glacier style colorway. And the 4RR, again, comes in the KRT trim as the 2023 and an unnamed new color scheme. So, what are there any differences? Yes, there are differences. Number one, they're more expensive. I want to say they're $300 to $500 more for the ZX4RR and KRT trim. The 4R, single R, does not have the quick shifter, does not have the adjustable suspension, but does come with everything else. The 4RR comes identical with all of its initial things that it came with on the 2023. However, if you go into Kawasaki's website and do a comparison, what you will notice is, this is interesting, people wanting to cross the street like so, but what you're going to notice if you go to Kawasaki's website is that they now have smaller tire sizes. The 110, 50, 17 and a 150 60 17 in the rear. The 2023 model, the model that I have, has 120 70 17 and a 160 60 17. So slightly thinner tires. Don't know why. Can't figure out what the purpose of that would be. I can't imagine it's for handling. The bike tips in really, really well as is. Feels like it just wants to keep going down. So I don't know. If anybody can put in the comments why that could be the case, they could let me know. Anyway, I am, from what you could tell here, heading home. A little bit more traffic-y. I prefer to do the back roads, but unfortunately the last video didn't work out so well. And I'm not feeling all that great, so I figured I'd just go straight home. But this will give you an idea of how this bike is in regular old traffic. Rush hour traffic, as a matter of fact, because it is 4:25 p.m. where I'm at on the East Coast. Ooh, looks like a green light. No, nope, nope. All right, so let's talk ZX4RR. You guys want to know? What do you want to know? I guess first thing you want to know is it worth it? Well, it all depends. After 5,500 miles, I've discovered quite a few things. One of them being, it's a great bike. I probably could have gotten away with a 650 for what I do. I am not a drag your knee on a back road type of person. I do like to be spirited in my riding, but I'm not really looking at trying to set any records or anything like that, because, well, the street's not really for that in my opinion. But anyway, with that being said, this is a particular bike for a particular person. This is a particular bike for a particular person. It revs high, as you guys are all aware, and it's quick. It's not fast. If you're expecting a fast bike, find something else. Find a 6R. Any old 600 will do. It's just not fast. It's quick in its stock form, but not fast. And that's another thing I need to let you know. Stock form. I have this bike completely stock. Bone stock, unadulterated. There are no modifications on it. Still got the stock exhaust, stock tune. We all know that if you flash it, you'll get a little bit more power. So I've been riding 5,500 miles in the stock trim. I gotta admit that I do like it as is. I think it's a great bike. You can watch Fortnine's video on it, and I agree with him totally. I mean, if this bike never got modded, I'd be happy. I don't long for anything, and I can decimate traffic. I don't worry about moving through traffic, and on a back road there is more than enough. Quick side note about me: I ended up getting this bike. I kind of wanted it, but then I put it out of my mind. Long story short, I kind of went to the dealer to go look at a Ninja 650, actually a Ninja 400, I'm sorry, because it really did everything I needed. I started out on a CVR 250 for about a year, almost 2 years, and that bike did everything I wanted it to do. 95% of what I wanted it to do, it did. I just couldn't ride it on the highway the way that I needed to. I didn't have enough top end to pass people comfortably, to get out of a situation comfortably. I didn't have that top end power. So I figured, well, Ninja 400, double horsepower, same weight, massive aftermarket, sounds like a good to go. So I kind of was thinking at that, looking at the website, and the dealer website showed they had one of these in stock. I had to go look. So I went and looked, turned around, and he had a Ninja 400 and the ZX4RR right next to each other in the back, because the bike was just being assembled, just got assembled. I sat on both, and contrary to what a lot of guys say, the ZX4RR is rather comfortable. It's extremely comfortable. I did not feel it was not that much more different than the 400 in terms of my seating position. I felt very upright. I am 5'8", with about a 30-inch inseam. Comfortable, feet on the ground, no big deal. So, then you go here, you go there, you go to credit plate, you go to the credit app, it scores good, and the price is nice, and the interest is nice, and well, then you walk away with a bike that, wasn't really planning on getting, but I did. So, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I do love this bike. I really love four cylinders. Really didn't like the sounds out of the parallel twins, at least the Cowies, but I do like the Kawasaki's. I know there's other options. Didn't like the MTs. I just didn't like what anybody else had out there. Just really didn't. And I didn't want to get the CBR 650R because I felt that it was just too powerful for my level of experience. So I got this, and I love it. And I'm on a highway right now doing about 72 miles an hour. Just so that, I guess it's a side note, the TAC is showing 7,000 at 70 miles an hour. So basically every 1,000 RPMs is 10 miles an hour. So theoretically at 16,000 RPM, you could do about 160. That's an estimate. That's not saying that it's gonna. But fully unlocked, I can imagine that that's what you would be able to do. Not bad for a little 400. But anyway, so the pros to the bike are many, in my opinion. It is very fuel efficient. It will get you, I'm averaging about 52 miles to the gallon according to the Kawasaki trip meter, or I should say the gas calculations. I've gotten up to 55. If you ride it normally, just normally, like I am right now, you'll see 160 miles to a tank without a problem. And even then, you're not getting a lot of gas. So you could feasibly do 200 miles on this bike if you ride it rather conservatively, if you wanted to. If you want to rip it up, you sure can, but you're going to pay in gas, that's for sure. You're going to end up down in the 120s, maybe even 100. But I have my fun. I rip it, and I still get about 150 to 160. you know, there is no need for me to be going 120 miles an hour right now, which, by the way, is about the top speed. And that's all due to the fact that the power curve ends at about 11.5, so you're not going to get much out of that. You'll get about $120, maybe a little bit more, maybe 130. I don't know. If you're a lighter rider, I'm pretty heavy, so it all depends. But I mean, the bike in and of itself is great. I would recommend for the average person, I would recommend the Ninja 400, or if you wanted something with a little more power, the 650. I rode that bike, and that bike rides great. Gobs of torque at low revs. You can lazily shift the 650 around, and it'll go. It'll just go. So, you know, I'm in 6th gear right now, doing about 80, and as you can see, slight twist of the throttle, and I get up to about 90. It's got power. I don't need the downshift. It's a misnomer. You could use this bike every single day. It's not a big deal. But again, you have to be willing to work for it in a lot of situations. It's not going to come naturally the way that it will on an R7, which is by chance its direct competitor. I don't care what anybody says. If you're comparing this to a Ninja 400, you basically lost your mind. You've lost the plot. This really goes up against the R7. It's really its only competitor when you really truly think about it. You put it down on paper, they make about the same horsepower, they weigh about the same. They're both fared super sports. They're not. Granted, the R7 makes all of its power. This bike is more of a comparison in terms of fully unlocked. So if you were to get this thing flashed with the stock exhaust, now you're on par with the stock R7. It is loads of fun, makes great noise, this bike. You know, I wouldn't compare it to the Aprilia RS660 or the CBR 650R because those bikes make way more horsepower, almost 100, and that's in stock trim. I just wouldn't compare it to the two. You could probably keep up with them, and if you're a better rider, you'll definitely do better. But pound for pound, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Really, really don't. Theoretically, you could compare this to the Ninja 650. Problem is, this bike comes with a lot of extras that don't come on the Ninja 650. One of my favorites, and I think it's a game changer, is the quick shifter. Quick shifter with auto flip down. I absolutely love that option. Not the auto flipper down is nice, but I don't use it a lot because I don't have the experience to really use it. Sounds crazy, but there is a level of knowledge that you kind of need to know in order to use it properly. But coming out of a corner in 2nd gear and then just giving it some juice, and you hit the apex right, you hit the exit right, and then you just plow up through the gears with the quick shifter, you feel like you're on a race bike. That's just what it feels like, and it's a phenomenal feeling. So it's tough. I don't think I could ever buy another bike without a quick shifter because that is just an intangible. Another intangible. I know I said I didn't have any mods. However, I do have one mod, but it is a non-performance mod. I put Oxford heated grips on the bike. Now, Oxford heated grips, as you are well aware, are just heated grips, but it's a game changer. It is October 13th, as a matter of fact, today. In the morning, it's cold. Today wasn't too bad. It was in the 50s, about 55. The other day it was in the 40s. Hey, how you doing there, buddy? Oh, you're going that way, aren't you? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so it was in the 40s. I end up putting on the heated grips, and wow, just absolutely phenomenal. Hands are nice and warm. You know, I've got a 50 mile commute round trip, so about 25, 26 miles each way. If I go the short way, which I do in the morning, And it gets chilly. It gets chilly. I mean, you're going 50, 60 miles an hour, and you know, whatever the whatever the temperature is, at 50, 60 miles an hour, minus it by at least 10, and that's what your body will feel. That's your wind chill factor. So if it's a 50-degree day, it's 40 when you're riding. That's what you're feeling. So, you know, it definitely helps. Definitely helps. I do not regret it. Another thing, those are two, I think, intangibles. I need a quick shifter and heated grips on whatever bike I buy. Um, just absolutely phenomenal. But they were great, inexpensive. You can put them on any bike. I highly recommend them, especially if your hands run a little cold. You can get away with riding a little deeper into the cold weather. Um, you know, the biggest help for it is it stops your hands from getting numb. That's really what it is, and stiff from the cold. I'm an older guy. I'm 48, Gen-Xer, so you know my glory days are long gone, and I'm not kidding myself about that. But you know, you gotta understand, and you gotta accept what you got. I know I run cold. I'm not like I used to be young, so heated grips come in handy. Back to the bike. We talked about fuel mileage, talked about what its competitors are. So what else is there? Well, she handles like a dream. She really does. You can make the argument, oh, well, you don't have a lot of experience. How would you know? I know because when the bike just makes you better, then you know the bike is good. I don't have a lot of experience. I try things, and you know, I've been very blessed with a lot. But sometimes I just amaze myself with what I can do on this bike. And I know, is it part skill? Probably, but probably part bike too, because the bike is just that good. It's very balanced. It's very balanced. Loves tipping in. The minute you tip in, she wants to go down, 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 and she just sticks. And speaking of sticks, let's talk tires. So the stock tire on this bike is a Dunlop GPR. I think it's a GPR 300, which is the stock tire, or I should say the OEM tire, on this on the Ninja 400, on the Ninja 650, and this ZX4RR. It is an inexpensive tire. You could probably pick up a set for under $200, and at that price, they're amazing. They are really amazing. For under $200, this is a great tire. I was very skeptical. But I've done some pretty good stuff. I got chicken strips. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like I said, I am not dragging a knee. But these things stick. They stick in times when I just think they won't stick. And they're really good. They've got, like I said, they've got 5,500 miles on them now. I anticipate they'll be gone in about another 500 miles or so. So say 6,000. You know, maybe it's 6,000 or maybe a little bit after that. And I have some Dunlop Road Sport 3s that I want to try because they got incredible ratings. Um, I'm more of a Sport Tourer tire guy. I like longevity since I don't need all that traction, especially on the street. I'm not gonna freak out about getting Diablo Courses or Q5s or anything like that. When this bike eventually gets on the track, which I'm hoping to do, yeah, maybe I will get a set of Q5s or something else. But for now, that's what it'll be. So, as you can see, I mean, you see me messing with traffic here. I mean, I'm not, you know, it's just, I've passed people. This is not an issue. I'm not even downshifting. I don't think I've gone below fifth gear to do anything with anybody on any of these roads. 6 gears more is fine. You know, could I drop it a couple gears and fly? Yeah, I can, but I don't need to. This bike's got more than enough power, as is. It handles great. And I guess the best thing to say is, if you want something different from the rest, and you want something special, And if you're willing to be the butt of jokes, because let's just be honest, if 600s are the butt of jokes to 1000s, then I can't imagine what this would be, because this is a baby. It really is. It's a baby super sport, as it should be. It is a great introduction if you're looking to get into super sports. You don't want to get a 120 horsepower 600. This is great, and it's kind of great that it's locked, because you start out with the 50 some odd horsepower, ride it for like a year or two, or whatever, you know, get yourself some experience, some knowledge, and then turn around and just flash it, get an exhaust, airbox. You're looking at 80 horsepower, maybe more, depending. And now you pretty much got like a different bike without having to pay for a brand new bike. So it's definitely worth it if you're willing to deal with some of those little things. You know, like having to rev it out a little bit. If you're willing to, deal with the fact that it is a lot of money. We're talking, I paid $11,000 out the door. That's a lot of money. Contrary to popular belief, no. The 6R, could I have picked one up for $500 more? Yeah, without ABS, but pound for pound, if you wanted to spec it out identical, you would have needed the ABS version, which would have been closer to $2,000 more. So that kind of takes away that whole element that people talk about. So, I think that if you're a new rider, stick with something small like any one of those, the RC390, the Ninja 400. You could get away with a Ninja 650, especially if you're a bigger guy. You want to get comfortable on the bike. That's the key. The key is just feeling comfortable on it. Once you feel comfortable and it feels like it's a part of you, then you'll be fast. You'll get faster on your own, and you will, with practice, obviously. And you'll be doing things that you would have never thought because you're comfortable on the bike. So, the only other thing I can say about this particular bike, in closing, is that it's a great bike. I do love it. I won't lie, it is definitively my midlife crisis. Some guys buy Corvettes. I ended up buying a ZX4RR. I don't necessarily regret it. The payment's not too bad. It's only $250 a month, and the insurance is only $600 something for the year, which isn't bad because it is a brand new bike, so they don't have any costs or anything associated with it. I do use Progressive. I found that their insurance rates were the absolute best. And I have actually really high deductible or really high coverage, because once you start owning things, you want high coverages. You don't need to get sued by anybody. But that's for something else. So, let's see. Well, I guess I'd tell you more, but this is all off the cuff too. So, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, comments, starting out the channel. So, everything is brand new. Constructive criticism, any criticism is accepted. I got thick skin. There's not much you could say to me that I haven't heard already. And the fact of the matter is that, hey, even the horrible comments might have some merit to them in some way. So you never know. You take a comment, you check it out, see if it's right or wrong, and then keep it moving. So, with that being said, I will let you guys go. I'm hoping that this worked out well, because that's the case. This will be the beginning of many, many more videos. Hopefully a fun channel where we could discuss not just bikes, but maybe a little everything. I like gaming, I like my faith, I like a lot of different things. So there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about. Make it a potpourri channel. Something for everybody. Alright? Alright, well, let me get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Have fun.